Good morning, everyone.
Morning, team.
Yeah, so final day for the session, and
Yes.
the agenda for today starts with the leftover portion of Redux, integration of Redux with React. Then we'll be talking about the custom hooks and finishing it up with unit testing of React apps using the Jest framework. At 12:30, you will be having the assessment as discussed yesterday. Okay, so let's get started. For that, you have to open couple of command prompt instances in which one of the instance will have the API hosted. So you have to go to the path where your project is, and you have to use npm run API to start API if not running already. And in the second command prompt, you have to again go to the path, and there you have to start your npm development server by saying npm start. This is the regular thing. And before npm start, on the same path, if you issue code space dot, the Visual Studio Code will get opened up with your project opened up like this. Right. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Those who have not yet started with the three things, please get that done, and then we'll move on. Meanwhile, this is the last thing we implemented yesterday, right? We defined the action types, action interfaces, and based on the action interfaces, again action types, we defined the state also, state variables. Four state variables we see here: loading, projects, error, and page, which is same as what we are using for the local state as well. Correct? The next thing that we will be required to do now is creating the action creator functions, then followed by implementing reducers, followed by configuring the project reducer and the state, and then the React integration with Redux. This is our target to start with. Okay. So I hope you are ready.
Yes, okay.
In the browser, you can see your application is running. There is no problem at all. If I click on this, I'm able to see the detail. Back to projects was the last thing we implemented, and edit also is working. All the functionality is in place. Redux implementation we started but not completed. So as of now, this running copy of the project doesn't use Redux at all. But this is just to make sure that the things are working. Okay. So back to VS Code. Just close any files if already open, and then select your state folder and click on new file. Name this file as project actions.ts. This file is something that we'll be using for creating the action creator functions. Okay. So this starts with few import statements. I want to import action from Redux. Then I want to import thunk action. I said thunk basically provides you some additional features. Precisely these features are to provide you the asynchronous programming support for Redux. This comes from Redux thunk. We already installed the package for that yesterday, right? Then import your project API from /project API. Then import the project class from /project. Then import all of your action types that you plan to use within the application. So 9 types we have defined: load project request, load project success, load project failure, save project request, save project success, save project failure, delete project request, delete project success, delete project failure. So based on the implementation we have made, we need only the load project and save project, because read and update operation is what we are trying. Delete operation we have not yet implemented. So I'll import only load underscore projects underscore request from /project types. So apart from load projects request, I want to import load project success, load project failure, save project request, save project success, and save project failure. And also the project state. These are all those things that we created yesterday in project types.ts. This is what I'm importing. And then projects also I'm importing there, project state. So this is the interface which I'm importing there. 6 items from here and 1 item from here. Okay. Okay. Let's implement the action creators. It starts with export function. Just notice that I'm not using default keyword here. So though it is exported, it won't be the default one. It needs to be explicitly imported with curly braces, right? I name this as projects, load projects. That takes in a single parameter named as page of type number. And what it returns is, take it on next line, thunk action that is a void method, takes in project state as input, null, comma, action of type string. And then the function body. Okay. So asynchronous function I'm configuring here, where action represents the function body. This is the input. This is the return type. Okay. What we have here is return. A callback function is used over here. So I say dispatch is the parameter, which will be of type any, handled by the arrow function defined here. So that's what we are expecting here. Thunk action needs to be returned. This is the thunk action that will be returned, means the asynchronous action. It's an asynchronous action, so there has to be some notification that the action has completed. So here I say dispatch the request of what type. So I say type colon load project request. So this will be the request dispatched. Means I'm trying to invoke some functionality that is for loading the projects. This is a notification, which means the next statement is something that communicates with the API and gets the data returned. So here I say return project API dot get the page number requested over here with the parameter page. If successful, then capture the output as data, which is processed by this arrow function. Where I say, because it's a successful call, I say dispatch type colon load project success, comma payload colon within curly brace projects as data and page. Let me put this on next line, make it readable. Okay, so this is the successful behavior. If there is a failure in communicating with the API, catch the error. E or error, whatever you feel is comfortable, processed by this arrow function. If it is failed, I say dispatch type. You can guess now easily. It should be load project failure with payload being error. Okay. Save on the console. See, there is no compilation error as yet. So this is load project behavior. The same way I need save project behavior also configured. So for this, I just get this function copied. Pasted here with the name of the function being changed to save project. Instead of page of type number, it takes in single parameter project of type project. Returns, the same thing, thunk action with return type void, input as project state, third parameter going in as null, and then the action with data type string going in as the type parameter. Return dispatch of type any, handled by the arrow function. What should I dispatch here? What should be the type? Save project request. Project API dot put. What to put? The input parameter project. If successful, capture the data. Dispatch the type. Save project success. And then the payload as data directly. So here I directly mention data. If any error, dispatch save project failure with payload as error. Save and verify there is no compilation error on console. Action creator actually is returning the actionable code. That's why we call it as action creator. Mapping this code or getting this invoked somewhere is still pending. Save project here and load projects here are just returning the actionable code. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to implement a reducer. So again, select the state folder, click on new file and name this as project reducer.ts. Then it starts with the import statement. First of all, I start with project action types from /project types. Along with project action types, I want load project success, load project. Oh, it should be request first, though it doesn't matter in which sequence you go for it, but logically this is the right sequence, right? Request, then success, then failure. Same way, save project request, save project success, save project failure. And to keep it future ready, where we plan to use delete operation also, let's say I go for delete project request, delete project success, and delete project failure also imported. Along with that, I need the project state also to be imported. And then apart from these things, I need to import project from /project. Okay. So here I define a constant to represent my initial project state. Const initial project state of type project state equals curly braces. Within that, we have four members, right? So initial state is where project is empty array. So I just say square brackets. Loading will be false. Error is undefined. And page by default initially is 1. Okay. Now reducer basically is supposed to be configured here. This reducer is going to act as a facade. One stop endpoint where the request will be sent by your components and from where it will then get distributed to the backend stuff. Like action creators will be picked up from here and will execute, provide the result. So here we create the exported function project reducer. State is initial project state. Action of type project action types. Oh, one mistake I've made. This should be parenthesis. We're defining the parameters here. Opening parenthesis here, which sets the state, initial project state, action of type project action types, and then goes the function body. Here we have the switch case. This is the logic which actually acts as the or makes this reducer behave like a facade. I say, what is the action type being requested? If the case is load project request, return, we'll use the object merge operator. Current state with loading set to true and error set to null or null string, empty string. No break statement required here because we have the return statement which automatically makes it break. Next is case load project success. Here I say there might be some update required, right? Or some local state needs to be changed from the incoming array which is being received from the API. So here I say hold that data. I have a local collection variable projects of type project array. There is a constant page which is picked up from action.payload. And then here goes the logic. Like if you remember, for page number 1, there was a different logic, and for subsequent pages, there was a different logic. Same thing we implement here. Page equals 1. Then projects is assigned to action.payload.projects. Else, for subsequent pages, projects will be equal to current project, which is there into the state. We say state dot projects, comma, the projects which have been received just now. So dot action dot payload dot projects. Existing projects merged with the new collection. This is required for pagination logic, right? 9 records at a time being downloaded, and then every time there onwards, we go for further 9 records being added. Here goes the return statement for this case. What it returns is a complex object. So I configure it this way in multi-line format. I want to return the state. I want to return loading with the value false. I want to return the page number. I want to return the projects, modified one, and then error as empty string. Okay. And then comes case load project failure. This is going to be simple one. In case of a failure, simple return statement is there that returns complex object with the state being returned as it is. Loading as false. Error as action dot payload dot message, which is error message. Clear?
Saket, I have error
Yes.
on top. Project action types in the import first statement.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Project action types. Okay, just open your project types.ts file.
This one, project types.
Yes, so we have export type. Scroll down where we have project action types defined.
This one,
Export type, project action types. Yeah, this looks good. Then we have, okay, go back to that file, project reducer. What is the error? Just over on it. It's like some spelling mistake. Go back to project types once again. Yeah, action name has got a spelling mistake. Correct. Save this.
Yes. Okay.
There
Yeah.
should be no error now. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I hope it's done till here.
Yes, sir.
We did it for the load project, right? Success and failure also handled here with the switch case, right? Load project request, success, and failure. Don't you think we should have this for save project and delete project also? Of course, yes. So let's implement for save project. Here we say case save project request. What we should be returning when the save project is requested, just return the state as it is. So I say return dot state. That means current value of state. Then save project success. If the request is successful, there is something to be done. Here I say if action dot payload dot is new, means the project is new. Then return dot state, comma projects colon square bracket, use the merge operator, state dot projects, existing one, merged with action dot payload. Okay, else if is new is returning false, what I want to do is return dot state, comma projects as state dot projects dot map. This is the update behavior. We have seen this before. Map picks one project at a time as project of type project and gets it processed with this arrow function. Where say return the condition project dot id equals action dot payload dot id. If true, then object dot assign empty object, comma project, current project, comma action dot payload. This is the merge activity of the changes. Else, if the condition is false, just return the project as it is without changes. Okay. Okay. Here goes the semicolon. Finish the return statement. And this is the finish of the case. In fact, else. This is the finish of the case. What if the safe project behavior is failed? I just say return complex object with original state going back as it is, comma, error as action dot payload dot message. And then the delete. So right now, if we ignore this, that's fine, but just being future ready. Delete project request. Just want to return the current state as it is. So return curly brace dot 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 state followed by case delete project success. Return complex object with dot dot state going as it is, comma, projects set to state dot projects. It's an in-memory collection. I want the record which has been deleted to be ignored, removed. So I say dot filter. Filter out the deleted project. So I can say filter that takes in one parameter project of type project. Then the arrow function, which says single line expression is there. Project.id is not equal to action.payload.id. Whenever there is no match, just get it removed and select only the records which are not requested for deletion. This request can fail as well. So here goes delete, case delete project failure, where we simply want to return the state. Error as action.payload.message. And then if any other action is requested, action type is requested, so there goes the default case, which just returns the state and ignores the request. Save and just make sure that there is no compilation error on console.
Saket could not type with you.
Yeah. So which section you want?
From
Here is
from
save project.
yeah, from the save project success.
Yeah, here it is.
No, from there till the end.
Yeah, just get it done one by one. I'll scroll.
Uh,
This is save project success.
That is new is showing error.
Okay, share your screen.
Yeah, I typed still in here only.
Okay, just hover on is new. Does not exist on type project. Okay.
So here somewhere we define this one is new.
Hover on payload. It's not able to detect ID also, right?
Yeah,
So
some import is missing or
just one moment. Action.payload should be of type project actually. So can you go to project types.ts? Just scroll to the top. Load project request, type of load project request, load project success, load project success, type of load project success. Payload is projects, project array, page number. Load project failure is payload message string. Save project. Yeah. So line number 37. Two corrections required. After payload, you have projects. Rename it to project and remove the square brackets after the project type. Because project array doesn't contain ID and is new. Project contains ID and is new. So remove the square bracket.
this one.
Yeah. Same thing you need to do on line number 51 also. Rename projects to project and remove the square bracket. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, save. Go back to project reducer. Just hover on payload once.
So here we have project and page, the success, the payload.
That's correct. That's correct. Go back, go back. Just hover on payload before is new. Project, page number, action dot payload, success. Go back to project types. Yeah. So there is one more change required. Remove the curly braces from there. Remove the page number also.
Here line number 37.
37. Yeah. Remove curly brace. Remove project. It is single
Project.
project only that we will be using. So type project will remain. Remove the page number.
Okay.
Yes. And remove the project before colon. Remove the colon also. Yes. And do the same thing for delete project success also.
51.
Yeah. Save. Gone, right?
Yes.
Just save this file also and go to console to verify there is no further error.
So yeah, there is no error.
Yeah. So save project success is done. Now let me share my screen again. I hope the save project success is completed, right?
Not. I think the else condition I missed.
Yeah, just do it. It's here.
Save project.
Done.
Yes.
Here is the remaining stuff. Save project failure, and it's okay if you don't put this. Directly you can go for default.
Can you little bit scroll up?
Yeah, this is the else part.
Failure.
Failure is here. These three cases you can ignore as we are not using them at all as of now. You can ignore. Okay,
Only failure. I will.
correct. Save project failure, and then directly you can jump on to default. Done.
No. Just done straight. Yes.
Okay, so here we can see we already implemented the reducers. The last part which is pending from this section is configuring the project reducer and state, right? So before we proceed, just save your file and check on console. There is no error. We can get all the files closed. And then we created a file called as state.ts directly under SRC folder. So just find out the state.ts and open it. SRC folder directly holds state.ts, right?
Yes.
Few additional import statements we need here. So let's say import project state from /project/ state/ project types. then import initial project state from /project/state/project reducer. And from the same file, you can actually import project reducer also. Yes.
Yes.
Now here, if you remember, we already defined reducer, combined reducer with empty state initially. I said that once the reducer is created, we will be using this method to combine or merge the reducers, right? To have one single reducer at the entire application level. So here we reconfigure it by adding project state as the member of type project reducer. Then
Yes.
locate the interface app state, which also we kept empty. We'll add one member here as well. Project state of type project state. Now, because app state has got a member project state, here we get the error. It says project state is missing in type, but required in the app state, which is the data type for initial app state. Means we need a change here as well. So let's say project state colon initial project state. Save and verify there is no compilation error. Yes.
Yes.
Next is now we need to see exactly how the Redux can be then integrated with React. Means our application. In this section, our objective will be to refactor the page main container component to use React Redux hooks so that the Redux can be integrated in our application. And then same thing has to be done in the form component also. So refactor the form component so that the action can be dispatched. Here I say dispatch an action. Two objectives. Okay. This is the reason why we actually created the separate copy of our project. Okay. Let's close this file and open projects page.tsx, which is the container of everything. Yes, this is where our projects stuff is starting in the browser. So just have a look at this. This is what the page is. When I click on projects, this is what I get. This is where it all starts. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, a small change you have to make. So let's copy this statement, comment out, I don't want to use local state for this component anymore. So here I remove use state. Use effect I'll need for side effects. Use state is local state. I'm using Redux. So I don't need use state anymore here. Then project API also not needed here. Comment this because the API communication already being taken care of by Redux. Couple of new import statements come in. There is a set of hooks available for Redux as well. Like here I have something called as use selector from React Redux. And then there is something called as use dispatch. These are Redux hooks. Then import the app state from dot dot slash state. Okay. Of course, because use state is no more available, these four statements are going to cause errors. Yes or no? But this is something which has been taken care of in the Redux code already. Projects, loading, error, page. We already have it there. So it's okay if you comment this. Clear? Even this import statement which imports project also is not needed. So you can comment this also out. And then few more import statement I'm going to put here. Load projects from dot slash state slash project actions. Then import any action from Redux. Then import asynchronous dispatch. So asynchronous dispatch is represented by thunk dispatch. From Redux thunk. Then import project state from dot slash state slash project types. And
Saket, here I have one doubt. Line number 4,
yes,
we mentioned project list without curly
yes,
brace. That means
it's a default one, default export. in project list. So you can go to project list.tsx and towards the end you can see it's default. Yes,
No, everywhere we mention default only, right?
not everywhere. In some components there is default, in some components it's not. So you can check. So wherever there is default, there is no curly brace. Wherever default is not used, curly braces are there.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Now let's define a constant here, which represents my dispatch object, which will be used to dispatch the request, equal to use dispatch of type thunk dispatch, which itself is of type project state, comma, any, comma, any action, and parenthesis, so that the dispatch object is configured. With the help of which I'll place the request for what I want. Now, use effect is required, but not the way it has been set, because here we are making use of some of the state variables which were defined locally. So what I do is I select the complete use effect method, comment it out, and rewrite a new use effect method here. So use effect, for your better reference, instead of writing it here after the comments, I put it here so that the constant dispatch is also visible. Here I write use effect. Purpose is same as before, but the way how it is implemented now is different. Starts as usual. We have lambda arrow as well, and the dependency on something is also there. Earlier it was on current page. Instead of current page, now my dependency will be on the dispatch object. So I pass dispatch as the dependency. And here I make the call to dispatch method, to which I pass the request to load the projects with page number 1. And there onwards, the page number will be decided by this. State is already going to have the value of it, right? So use effect also becomes pretty simple now. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Second.
Because all this logic is already being taken care of by the reducer. Yes?
Yes.
By reducer, it goes to the action creator within which this logic you find. Yes?
Yes.
If this is done, let's scroll down. We have some error in handle more click now, where we are saying set current page, comment this out with load projects, current page, plus 1. Page did I miss somewhere? Yeah. So let this error be as it is for now. We need few more constants to be defined to get the value of current page here. For that, just scroll up. Once this modification is done, dispatch load projects, current page plus 1 we have specified, right?
Yes.
Just scroll up. After the dispatch or before the dispatch, in fact, let's create some space and define const loading as use selector that takes in callback function which has got a single parameter app state of type app state and is represented by the arrow function where I say app state dot project state dot loading. The loading will be decided by this. Retrieve from the global state and assign to the local variable loading. Okay. Same way, we say const projects equal to use selector. Which also takes app state of type app state handled by this arrow function that returns app state dot project state dot projects. So retrieve from global state to the local variable projects. Same thing for error, so I'll just get this copied. This is something which I'll name as error. And here also I'll assign error. And then the current page. Again, I paste this. Let's say this is current page. Here, we say this is page. And then the constant dispatch gets configured. Yeah.
1 minute, sir.
With this, actually, the error which you are getting with current page must have gone.
Yes.
Okay, so if you scroll down, error with current page is gone. The save project function also you have to comment out. Done.
Yes.
There will be still one error where project list is instantiated, right? because save project no more exists. So copy this line, comment it, and then paste it back without on save. Project list, projects equals to projects. Save. At this moment, there will be an error here because it requires on save, right?
Yes.
For now, we can ignore that. Keep this file open and move to app.tsx. Couple of new import statements where we say import provider from React Redux and import the store. It's application level state, so the store should be integrated at the top level of the application, which is represented by your component called as app. So we say import store from ./state. With the help of provider, we'll bind the store to our application. Clear? And with the import statements, yes.
Yes.
Now scroll down and find all of your HTML, which starts with router and ends with /router. Select all that HTML from router to /router. Press Ctrl X to cut it. You have to wrap all that in provider with store attribute set to curly brace store, the object which we have already imported, /provider. It should be provider. Sorry for the spelling mistake. Correct it out. And then in between, you have to paste the content which you have cut. So here goes the complete router code. Okay. So same code, just we wrapped it in providers with the store configured for the whole application. Save this. So as of now, there is still just one error in projects page. Yes or no? Some
Yes.
refactoring further is required. You can close this app.tsx file, open project form.tsx. Some import statements required here as well, starting with use dispatch from React Redux. Import save project from project actions ./state/project actions. Then import thunk dispatch from Redux thunk. Then import project state from ./state/project types. And then we import any action from Redux. So 5 new import statements coming in. Yes. Done.
Yes.
Now, on save is giving us trouble, right? At various places. So here we say project form props no more have on save. Comment that out. You have only project and on cancel, which means here I can revert back to something without on save, correct? So instead of changing this, what I can do is copy paste this and comment the original one with on save removed from here, which means there is no call to on save. But save behavior is needed, isn't it? Isn't it? For that, here I say const dispatch again, which will help me to dispatch the request for save operation equals to use dispatch of type thunk dispatch, which itself is of type project state, comma any, comma any action. And then instead of on save, I can say dispatch save project request, to which I pass the modified project. Save this and just scroll down and see there is no error in this file further. Yes,
This line number 29 save project is coming from.
save project basically we have defined in the actions, isn't it? So if you go here under the state folder, we have project actions. Here is save project. This
I
is
am
what we are
getting
calling.
project actions.
Yeah, we have imported that here, right?
Actually, I have save project. There is a error.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, here in the state I
Just
might.
scroll to the top. Line number 4. It's not save projects. It is save project. Go to your project actions once. Project actions.ts. Okay, you
Yes.
named it as save project. Just rename that. Save. If project is detected, and now see what error it is showing on line
Yeah,
29. Okay, can you go back to project actions once again? Project, okay. Come back to project form where you are dispatching save project.
Here 21.
Dispatch save project. It should be okay. Just hold on. Action void. Go to project actions. Code function, save project, project, thunk action, void, project state, null action string, dispatch, project. So all looks good. Roll up a bit. Load projects is fine. Okay. Go to project form. Okay, line number 29. Can you remove save project?
Okay.
Just put save project once again. Type save project. Yeah. Parenthesis. Pass project to it. Taken because the definition is matching here. Use dispatch, tongue dispatch. Yeah, I got it. Line number 21 has got the problem here. Go to line number 21. You have project mentioned in that before any. Make it project state. Project state. That's why the mismatch was there. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Because in the action, if you see, it is asking for project state. Go to project action.
Yeah, project state.
Yeah.
Stop sharing.
Yeah. You have to minutely watch the code in such cases. Okay. And
Yes.
with a lot of patience. Okay. So this is done. But still the error in projects page is there. That's because your form is not directly connected to projects page. It is connected via project list, isn't it? Project form was the child of project list. Here the project form is getting created, correct? On save is removed. Remove this on save from here, where project form is getting instantiated. This is first change. Then go to the top. Here you can see the interface project lips props is still using on save. We no more need this. Comment this out. Accordingly, the function declaration has to change here. So I copy this, comment this, paste it back. Remove on save from the definition here. Right? Save this. And see the errors must have been removed. So change number 1 was here where I removed on save. Change number 2 was Here where I commented on safe and change number 3 is here. I reverted back to what I started with. There is
Can
no
you
on save here.
go down?
Yes, in project form, there is on save attribute, remove that.
Okay.
Save everything, go to console to see there is no error. And then in the browser, just to make sure that all new things are working, you can just try out everything. Your data is getting loaded. This time it is from the Redux state. I want to modify this. Let's say this goes up to 39,900. And instead of third generation, I'll say this is fourth generation. Some changes I make here. Save. Changes saved here and here as well. I refresh and it's still there. So my state is now completely provided by Redux. But at the same time, you can see there is a mix of Redux state, global state, along with the local state also. Yes or no? Here I'm using the state. Here the state information is there. Project being edited is coming from local state because it is single project specific to this component. So wherever you have a need that the state needs to be managed for a specific component only, go for the local React provided state with the help of useState hook. If you feel that this data needs to be shared across multiple components and where the components may not have direct relationship, in that case, better you take the state information from Redux. In that case, the useState will not be there. So practically, the useState and Redux can survive together. Here itself, you can see useState is also there and all Redux stuff is also there. Yes or no?
Yes.
Here. So time for break. We'll resume at 11:25 and we'll be starting with custom hooks. So as a prerequisite before we actually go for the break, what you do is in VS Code, go to File, say Close folder, close the VS instance, stop your app server, stop your API server as well. And in both the command lines, just go to one level back and then move into your original keep track project instead of keep track Redux. So the next exercise we'll be doing with the original keep track project. So here also I'm in keep track. I can just say npm run API to start the API for the original project. And here also I say cd dot dot cd keep track code space dot to start VS Code with the original keep track project. Close all the open files and then npm start. So that once we come back, we can focus directly on the custom hooks.
Did you also start npm run API in
Yes,
another?
yes, yes, yes. In the keep track folder, not
Okay.
keep track Redux. Okay.
Okay.
So both servers are up and running. And VS Code contains the original keep track project, not the Redux one. So you can see the Redux files are not there. Yes. Okay. So let's go for the break. We'll resume at 11:25. Okay.
Yes, again. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm back. Shall we proceed? Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. So I hope you have opened the original Keep Track project and the API from the original project is running. The application also is running and just get it verified in the browser also. Yeah. So next thing that we are going to check out is custom hooks. Custom hooks are required to provide any additional behavior, any additional logic React itself doesn't have, or the out of the box provided hooks also don't provide. And we want it to be added as a hook only, right? So custom hook or user defined hooks. So particularly to learn this, the objective here is to move our local stateful logic out of the components with custom hooks. So one of the use case I'm looking to implement here, the local state management logic I'm looking to move out. This way you will also understand how exactly the Redux state management also must have been implemented. Okay. So for this, let's go back to VS Code. In projects folder, create a new file, name it as project hooks.ts. This file is something which will hold our custom hook definition. Okay. It starts with some import statements where I import useState from React. Along with useState, I also want useEffect. I then want project API to be imported from /project API. Then the project class is the next thing to be imported from /project. And there goes the functional component now. Not for the React, just a TypeScript component. Export function use projects. This is going to be used like a hook. And hence the naming convention I have followed with the prefix use into it. Use projects. When integrated, will provide the state management data, local state management data or behavior for my component. Okay. What I do here is some of the code I copy from projects page, complete save project and everything. Probably I take from here. So all the constants I'm going to need. Projects, loading, error, current page. This I copy and paste here. Okay. Just to save time, I'm copying and pasting because this is something we have already implemented, already seen, already discussed. I have few more state management or state variables. Next one is saving. So the manipulation method is set saving, which will be representing a Boolean value. So I say use state, initial value is false. And then another one, if any error is detected while saving. So saving error, set saving error equals to use state of type string or undefined. With the default value as undefined. Okay. And then I need my use effect method, which will give the load project behavior, and then the save project method, which will provide all the save behavior. So for that, again, I go back to projects page.tsx. First, I copy the use effect. Paste it here. So what it does, load projects sets the loading property to true, places the request to get the data for the current page. Error is set to blank. We are assuming there is no error. Then page number wise behavior is what we need. If the page is 1, set projects, else set projects to existing projects merge with the incoming data, right? If any error, catch it, set the error message, and finally says set loading false. Here we call the load projects method and the dependency on current page has been placed. Yes,
Yes.
as it is, I pick it up and then I go for the save project. So save project, initial part, I'll take it from here. I don't want the commented part. Paste the copied stuff and then go back and copy the remaining portion, including, okay, we don't want HTML from here. So till here we take it. Okay, so save project method is completed. What it does is makes the call to set saving. This is the new state variable that we have introduced. So add set saving true. Then the call to API. So project API dot put project. If successful, then receive the updated project and do the merging with this logic. Set the projects to the updated projects. If any error, set the error. Now, in this case, it will be the saving error. So instead of saying set error, we say set saving error. Save operation is failing, right? We call it as set saving error. And then we also add finally. So dot finally, no parameter, arrow function, which just says set saving false. Okay. And then from here, what I want to do is return the complete state. So return a complex object which contains projects, loading, error, current page, set current page, saving, saving error, save project. Okay. We just picked up all the logic from our projects page, which means the projects page now can be refactored in a way that this code doesn't remain over there. Rather, we integrate this hook there. Make sense?
Yes.
So let's go back to projectspage.tsx, go to the top first of all, and let's comment out this import statement. We don't require use effect at all as it is being taken care of by my custom hook already. I just need React. Here I say import React from React. And then I want my hook to be used. In fact, this project and project API also is not needed. So I can just comment these out as well. Correct? Here I say import use projects, the custom hook that we have just created from /project hooks, which means I no more need this. Whatever the code we copied is not needed. Use effect is not needed either. So I completely comment use effect. Right? Save project I don't require. So const save project definition. Till here also I comment out. Okay. Whatever the copied code has been commented from here. Here I introduce a constant, which is a complex object based on what is returned by use projects. Use projects hook. So what I want to read from there is projects, loading, error, set current page, save project, saving, saving error. Right? All picked up from the hook use projects. And hence, I don't require all this stuff to be implemented here. I already have those things implemented in the hook. Handle more click was giving the error. That error is automatically resolved because set current page I have from here from the hook. Current page also I have from the hook itself. Right? Okay. Next, some changes here in the HTML now. Before I go for any processing like
Saket, can you
this,
show
yeah,
that above?
yeah, sure. So after commenting, we only added this much and no more change.
Okay.
Okay. Now, further change in HTML just before this, where we are conditionally rendering the error UI. I also want to check if saving, then there should be some output which should be processed. So that output is span, class name, toast. This is just like a toast notification, which usually you get with uh, Outlook also, like whenever you receive a mail. I want this to appear for some time. With default configuration, whatever number of seconds it is configured to be displayed. Okay. Typical notification window. And then one small change over here. Instead of just checking for error, apart from error, I may have save error also, right? Saving error. So I copy, comment, paste it back, and here I put error as an expression in a parenthesis where I do check error as well as saving error both. And then the rest of the thing. And where I'm showing error, I also say saving error should also be displayed. Error and saving error side by side, maybe with a space in between. If you want, you can have a line break also, whatever way. Save this. And then to see that saving animation or toast plus loading animation, what we'll do is let's go to project API.ts, increase this delay to let's say 2000 milliseconds. Okay. Here, then here also 2000, and then put also, if you want, you can actually put. So it will be here. Dot then delay 2000 milliseconds. That's not mandatory though. Save it. Look on the console, there is no error. And come up over here, refresh. So here comes loading for 2 seconds. Here I make changes, edit. I say this is 40,600 inactive, 4th generation. Save. So this is the toast, which appeared for 2 seconds. And then the change happened. Yes. Now what I do is I go back to console, I stop my API. And then just refresh the page over here. I just want to see the error message here. It's there. Yes. So you can create custom hook for any purpose. I created it for centralized state management, though at the local level only, but logic has been centralized. Same type of state management if you want for multiple components locally, then this can be used, but then there can be hundreds of use cases for custom hooks. Clear? It could be something related to the formatting of the output also. Is it clear?
Yes.
API is already shut down. I'll close that console. I stop my application server as well and come one level out of the folder and CLS. VS Code, I close all the files and then close folder from file, close VS Code. So technically, this is the end of the overall React.js. Right now, just like for .NET, we learned unit testing. Here also we are writing some code, we are writing some components or units of code. Don't you think the unit testing should be done here as well? Ideally, yes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So there are multiple frameworks available. Jasmine, Karma, Muka, Jest, and so many. So out of which Jest has been requested to me for this particular training, and hence our unit testing demo will be based on Jest. Now, here we'll not be discussing about what is unit testing. We know it. Why it is important, why it is required. We know it. We already discussed that with XUnit, right? It is just the context which is going to change. Here we are looking to test our React.js applications. So what we are going to see is equally applicable to JavaScript and TypeScript. Is it clear? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start over. For this, we'll not be using the test cases for the current application because current application is little more complicated. We should learn it at the simple level first of all, and later on, then you can have your test cases created for the current keep track application also. Okay, so that is why I came out of the folder. I stopped my surveys. I stopped my uh, development server also and close the Visual Studio also, right? Visual Studio Code also. I'm going to start over with a new application for which I just say create dash react dash app. Some of you might need to use npx create react app. So just take care of that. I call this as demo dash testing. Precisely unit testing is what we are targeting. Our app name is demo dash testing. One reason why Jest has been picked up is also because when we create the application, React application with CRA, create React app, your application by default gets the support for the Jest based testing. Is it clear? Jest and the React testing library automatically gets added. So
For
here what I
me,
do is
it's not deleting the generated file. So npx is not working.
Can you share your screen?
Yes. See, I given this command npx
Mhm.
create React apps,
Okay.
but the folder is not created. Project is not.
Okay. Just type dir there. Run the command again.
Without npx, shall I try this time?
Try once. But I guess you faced issue earlier, right? Without npx.
Nothing is happening.
Press enter. After pressing enter, what it is giving? It's going slow, I guess. If this doesn't work out, you can actually use that demo one also. It's a working copy of the application, right?
Yes.
I guess it's a bandwidth issue with you.
But I have a GeoFiber bandwidth broadband connection only.
Are you connected with the mobile hotspot?
No, no, it is Wi-Fi hotspot.
Okay. Yeah, but that Geo device, right?
Yes, not Geo
Pocket route.
device. No, no, it's GeoFiber.
Proper Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yes.
Geo fiber. Happens sometimes because area wise, sometimes the service, if it is being used by more than expected number of users, the bandwidth gets distributed as well. On home networks, usually this issue will be there. Office networks most likely will not have this because we have dedicated connections there. I mean, dedicated bandwidth, right?
Hello, Sakit. Ankita here.
Yes, Ankita.
Good good morning. So, Sakit, when are we having our assessment today? Is it at 12:30 or?
12:30. 12:30, maybe 5 minutes here and there, but yeah, around
Acha,
12:30.
so what's the duration of the assessment that you are
1
providing?
hour. 1 hour.
Okay, all right. All right, team.
Yeah.
It's a mandatory assessment. Please do not skip it because this is the final assessment on based on which we will be sharing the report to your reporting managers. All the best. If you have any queries till now, please get it clarified from Sakit. He will help you out. Thanks, Sakit.
Thank you, Ankita.
Yeah, now this time I see that folder demo testing.
Yeah, so there should be no issue. It was a bandwidth issue only.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am stop sharing.
yeah.
Still going some other.
Yeah, let it be completed. Few more dependencies, it is just pulling in. Let it be completed. After that, you can stop sharing. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
So you can stop sharing now.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we are on the same page. Here we say cd space demo dash testing code space dot to start VS Code with the current new project opened up, and then coming back to the command line and say npm start to start the dev server, which launches the browser also. Right? Default output is this. Our work will be mainly there into the VS Code. Okay, so what we will be doing is create a new component over here, simple component, maybe something which is named as counter, and some functionality which gets executed on click of some buttons, which increases or decreases the counter value. Okay, so here I say go to SRC folder, create a new folder inside SRC by the name counter. Or I'll just rename this as I'm going to use this name for something else. Counter component is what I name it. The folder name is counter component. Select counter component folder and select new file. Let's name this as counter. Okay. .tsx. And let's start as usual, import React from React. Along with React, I also want state. So I import the hook use state. Define a constant named as counter. This is another way of defining the functional component with arrow function. Okay. I have a state variable here inside it named as counter, and the setter method for it is set counter equals use state. To start with, the value should be 0. Then I have const increment counter as the member function. No parameters, handled by the arrow function. What it does is calls the set counter with the parameter C for counter, which represents the current value. handled by the arrow function, which says C plus 1. So existing counter plus 1 will be the new counter value. Then I copy this, paste it back. I name this as decrement counter. Same logic, which just says C minus 1, current counter minus 1, which decrements. And then I have the return statement. Return, the usual return statement. And before we implement the HTML portion of return, just not to forget, we say export default counter. And then we code for return. Starts with fragment. I have a button component. I use an attribute data dash test ID with the value as increment. On click, I want to call increment counter. And let's say the text of the button is plus. You can also use the text as increment. Then I have a paragraph with data dash test ID equals to counter, which should show me the counter value, whatever is the current value. So here in curly braces, I put counter. And then the decrement button. So I just copy this button definition. Initially, I keep it disabled. Data test ID is decrement. This data test ID will be used for the unit testing purpose. On click, I call decrement counter and the text is minus or decrement. That's my component. Okay. How do I integrate this in app? Okay, just one
So
mistake I
what?
made. I guess I didn't use the template TypeScript. So it created the JavaScript based implementation. No worries. For now, the code is JavaScript compatible. I just rename this file first of all to use the extension as JSX. So it is all JavaScript thing. Then I go to app.js. Here I just get all these things removed till header. Import my new component counter from dot slash counter component slash counter. And then I get it instantiated here saying counter, right? Right? Save
Yes.
this. On console, there is no error. And in the browser, we have the UI creator. Yes. In fact, for the time being, what I do is I don't use disabled here. Save. And in the browser, I can see it's enabled now. All working fine for me. Yes.
I have one error. Cannot.
Share your screen.
Yeah, this is package.
Okay, can you go to VS Code?
So here I made mistake.
Wait, SRC has got the folder counter component. Yeah, so just rename your file counter.tsx to counter.jsx. Enter. Check it on console now. Compile. Check the browser. Okay.
Yes.
Click on plus. If plus works, minus should also work. There is no reason, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because we didn't use the template TypeScript, that's why TSX is not detected. The TypeScript compiler is not set up. That's why you are getting the error. Okay.
Yeah. This disable. I should remove this button. Is not.
That's okay. That's okay. Keep it disabled for now. We already checked it on my version of the code, right? So it's okay. Even I'll also restore disabled here. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Now we want the unit test cases to be created for this. Okay. So for this, what I do is in this counter component folder itself, I create another new file. Let's name this as counter component or just counter dot test dot js. If it is TypeScript, it will be dot ts. Just like app test dot js. We already have the jest based configuration here, but this is for app. I now want this test case to be created for my own component. And in package.json, actually, you can see the integration of jest library should already be there. Testing library based on jest. Yes?
Did we do something for this or
No, nothing. It's default. So you can open package.json and you can see this dependency list already being there. Yes?
So while creating the React app, it default.
Yeah. Okay. So counter test.js we created inside counter component. Let's say import few components from the testing library. So the first one is render. Next is, yeah, render from React DOM. In fact, not React DOM, it should be from testing library React. Then here I want another component, fire event and screen. Then I want to import my component to be tested. So here I say import counter from /counter. Then I create my test block. So let's say there is a method test which I want to call. Here comes the method test. Parameter value goes as increments counter. This is like the comment that we are placing, which sets the expectation that this test case must increment the counter, for which the code is provided by this callback function with arrow function. Here I say what should be rendered is the tag counter. Okay. Inside the rendered component, then what I want is I want to select the element that we want to interact with. So third party language will be select the element you want to interact with. So it is const counter. From the screen, I want to select the component to be tested. So get by test ID. This is where that test ID comes in. I want counter element to be retrieved. And if you see here, it is this paragraph that we are retrieving. Okay. Then const, I want to retrieve the increment button as well. So I name this as incrbtn screen dot get by test ID. The test ID that we have given to the button for increment. It is increment. Okay. Now I actually make that button clicked programmatically from my test case. So here I say interact with the selected element, for which I say fire event programmatically, which event, the click event, for which control INCR button, and then the assertions. So here I say expect. This is just like assert method. Counter to have the text content as 1. Right? If it is already 1, it should be 2. So I can further modify this code to make it more generic, more dynamic. Is it clear?
Yes.
Save this. See on the console, there is no error. Now the question is, how do I run the test? So here, press Ctrl C to stop your server and just say npm run test. From where I do get this command? Answer is in package.json only. To run the test, we have test command. npm start, npm run build, npm run test, npm run eject. Right? So I say test, which automatically starts the test cases. One passed, one failed. The failed one must be the test case for the app because we deleted few things from there, right? See, counter.test.js is not having any issue. It is passing. App.test.js is failing, right? It's not doing what it is expected. That's okay. Here I can just go and modify the app.js, app.test.js. Probably I can just remove this file or just comment out the whole stuff here. Or I can modify this to find out whether the counter.jsx has been rendered or not. So this is the tag which I want to be rendered, right? Okay, so it's not get by text. I need to say screen dot get. We don't have get element, so what else I can put? Okay, so for now I'll just remove this file or just comment out all the code here instead of removing. May be required in future. So save this. I'll stop it. Control C is the thing, CLS, and then again say npm run test. App.test is failing, so that means this file needs to be removed. Let me try renaming this as well. .old, so it's not a detected one. Let's see if this works. ELS. Yeah, only one test has executed and which has passed. So if I'm looking for the decrement also to be tested, what I'm supposed to do? I can have one more test block. Decrements counter. Renders the counter. Get by test ID counter. Get by test ID decrement, which is decrement button. I fire the click event for which. And by default, it should give me -1. Right? 0 minus 1 is -1. Save. Okay, so it's giving 0 only. It's not decrementing further. Default value, it is starting with 0. Maybe we can just test that in the browser. If it is not allowing to go below 0. Just one moment. I'll just say npm start. Disabled, I have to remove. Okay, maybe because of the disabled option, it's not working. So move this, save. Yeah, this should work now. Close this, Control C, yes, ELS, and then npm run test. There are two test cases which should run, and both are passing. Because of disabled, it was not working. Right? So it was giving error.
For me, the first itself is failing.
Okay, just share your screen.
I'm
So I hope meanwhile the conceptually everything you have understood, right, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here in the counter, but
Okay, so counter test.js, render counter, screen.get. Okay, there is a spelling mistake on line number 8. BYE. There should be no E. It should be GTBY test ID. Line number 8.
8.
Yeah, extra E is there after by, before T. Remove that. Save. So this was a compilation error.
Yeah, the tab test is the problem. I will remember.
Yeah, that you can just rename to .old, means it will not detect the JavaScript in that. Hence, none of the test cases will be detected and it will get passed. Okay.
Okay.
So if you know the concept of unit testing, it's the same thing everywhere. It is just that how you actually get it done. There we were using XUnit, here we are using jest. Purpose is same, target is same. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. So first of all, your test cases should be there in some Excel sheet. Like when I give this input, this is the output I expect. Output could be in the form of a value, output could be in the form of some exception or error or some HTTP status code. But your input and your target is supposed to be present based on which you write your test cases, assertions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is it for the entire session. Now, soon we will be starting up with the MCQ based test also. Just an update, instead of 50 questions, you will have 60 questions. To have even distribution of the content, I just increased number of questions to 60. Hence, the duration also is 60 minutes. Apart from this, there is a practical assessment also, where you have to build a simple project that uses uh, React in the front end with TypeScript. The backend has to be the web API in .NET 5, wherein you make use of some uh, design patterns and solid principles wherever required. I keep that up to you. Okay. Uh, this time I don't have a formal definition for it, but I can just tell you what exactly is expected. Uh, this is something based on the MCQ test itself, right? You will be appearing for the test, for which there is some form which is created. Yes.
Yes.
I want to make a React based application for the same, just like how KBC works, right? One question at a time is presented with 4 options. I want you to apply the timer of 1 minute also. If someone moves to the next question before 1 minute, that's fine. But if the answer is not given in 1 minute, I just should move on to the next question. I should not be allowed to go back at any point in time. I should not be allowed to go next. Okay, next is fine. I mean, I can submit the answer and that takes me to the next question. So even if I do it at 10th second, that's fine. So next is okay. Previous is not allowed. And within 1 minute, the answer has to be given. Otherwise, at 60th second, the state is automatically submitted and I move to the next question. So once all the questions are finished, let's say 20 questions are there or 60 questions are there, okay, automatically the result should be produced on the resulting screen. This is what the assignment is. I hope you got it. Any questions regarding the same?
But for beginners, this is complex, I think. Just we can
At least
have
try.
some.
At least give it a try. Say you have to just read. And submission is again not to the API. Submission is supposed to be there in the state variable only, right?
So
Where
when you
you
are
will be
expecting
using
this
the
practical,
readouts.
when you are expecting this practical, Monday is okay because we get the time for proper
You have time
implementation.
till next Friday. You have time of 5 days,
Yeah, yeah,
five
that's the
working
great.
days.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you consider Saturday and Sunday, I mean the tomorrow and day after tomorrow, you have total 7 days to complete.
So
Seven and a
basically,
half days,
user,
half day today also.
so user can select. Means there will be four questions. User can select and go to the next. If
Right.
user doesn't, it wait for 1 minute, it's automatically redirect to the next question.
Correct, correct.
So response is saved to the backend.
Response, if you can save it to backend, that will be great so that we can produce the report also, right? How many questions were actually attempted, and out of the attempted questions, how many were correct? So score can be calculated. Yes.
So in next week we have session or not on Monday, so we can give you some demo and after feedback we modify if you need anything. So
We
next,
don't have any session in the next week. So you will be working full time on this assignment. Probably at the evening time we can connect if you need any input or if you want to show any demos.
yeah,
Because
that's
I'll be
better because
yeah,
expectation can be differ than we
correct,
implement. So we can
correct,
connect
correct.
on evening for feedback or enhancement if you want on Monday
Yes,
evening.
yes, yes, yes. I'll confirm the timings because Monday onwards I'll be into a different training session for a different client. So once I get the schedule, I'll just confirm the timings every day at the same time. We'll connect for half an hour. Okay.
Yeah, yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's help. Thank you.
So I hope the requirement is pretty clear. It's not very complex one. It is just a simple quiz application I want you to build. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you refer any documentation, if you Google out something on this, that's fine. Point is, at the end, I need the solution and which you should be able to explain each and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check if my colleague Preeti has joined. She will
Yes,
be
she has
taking me through
shared.
the test.
She
Yeah,
has
yeah.
shared
So I
some
have
document.
joined in. Sorry for delay. One call came up,
Yeah, it's
so
okay.
I
It's
went
okay.
ahead. So I've already shared the feedback link. So please do fill and submit the same. Apart from that, I'm also sharing that question assessment link. Okay. It is 1 hour question paper. Yeah. So timer is there. So whenever you log in, it will expire in an hour.
Okay. So wish you
So
good luck, guys.
we have to submit within a hour, right?
Yeah, it will automatically get submitted if you didn't complete
Yeah,
in an
it's
Okay,
hour.
quite
okay.
similar
Okay.
to the assignment which I have asked you to complete. Just one change in the assignment that the timer is supposed to be on every question in the assignment. In this exam, basically, it's a overall 1 hour time that you have got.
Okay,
Understood?
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Apart from that, it is the same thing you have to build. UI will be different in the assessment again, because this assessment shows you all the questions on the same page, which I don't want you to build in your project. In your project, one question at a time will be displayed on the screen. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The reason
Uh,
is once you have submitted the answer, it cannot be changed. Understood?
In this exam, right? Once submitted,
Not in this
it can't
exam,
change.
in the assignment. In the assignment.
In the assignment. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
okay. So, Saket, just to reconfirm for the MCQ, we have today 60-minute time. And
Yeah.
for the assignment, what is the timeline? Can you just say again?
Next week, Friday, you have to submit it.
Okay. And the details you are going to share in document format or anything?
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay.
By end of the day today, I'll give you that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the best, guys, for both the assessments. And See you next week as well. The timings will be confirmed to you on the same
Yeah.
chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Wish you good
Okay,
luck.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Preeti will be here to take you through the exam
Yeah.
and the feedback.
I'm available for around 1:30. Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.